Have you ever rushed to finish a protein shake in the gym locker room because you were afraid every passing minute meant losing muscle? If so, you're definitely not alone. For years, we've been told there's a tiny anabolic window after a workout, a brief period where you have to drink protein immediately or risk wasting all your hard work. But here's the surprising part. You could finish a protein shake 5 minutes after your workout and still be doing less for your muscles than someone who waits a few hours. That sounds completely backwards. So, what's really going on? Modern sports nutrition has uncovered something far more important than the clock. And if your goal is to lose fat while keeping your muscle, understanding this difference could completely change the way you think about protein. Millions of people fall into the trap of obsessing over those first 30 minutes after exercise. Fitness culture and plenty of supplement marketing us convinced us that missing that window is almost a disaster. But while everyone argues over minutes, many overlook what actually has the biggest impact. Some people religiously drink a shake immediately after training, yet fail to eat enough protein throughout the rest of the day. Others consume almost all of their daily protein in one enormous dinner, believing that more protein at once must mean more muscle. Ironically, both habits can work against the very goal they're trying to achieve. So if timing isn't the whole story, what does your body actually need? To answer that, we need to look inside your muscle cells. Every time your muscles repair or grow, they rely on a molecular pathway known as mTOR. Think of mTOR as the master construction switch for muscle building. Protein provides the building materials, the bricks. But those bricks alone don't start construction. You also need the key that turns the switch on. That key is an essential amino acid called leucine. Research suggests that reaching roughly 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a meal, usually the amount found in about 25 to 40 grams of high-quality protein, is enough to activate this muscle-building signal. But here's another myth that's worth leaving behind. Eating twice as much protein doesn't mean building twice as much muscle. Once that construction switch has been activated, your muscles enter a temporary period where they become less responsive to additional protein. Your digestive system can certainly handle a larger meal over time, but your muscles don't keep accelerating just because more protein keeps arriving. Think of it like watering a plant. Once the soil has absorbed enough water, pouring on another bucket immediately doesn't help the plant grow faster. The same principle applies here. That's why researchers consistently find that around 25 to 40 grams of high-quality protein per meal is enough to maximize the immediate muscle-building response for most people. So what happens next? Instead of trying to cram all your protein into one giant meal, it becomes more effective to give your muscles another opportunity to respond later. By spreading your protein across 3 to 4 meals throughout the day, each separated by roughly 3 to 5 hours, you allow that muscle-building signal to rise, settle, and become responsive again. Here is where many people are surprised. Someone eating 120 grams of protein in one huge dinner may stimulate muscle growth less effectively than someone eating the exact same amount spread across multiple meals. The total amount of protein hasn't changed, only the distribution has. And that simple difference can make your daily protein work much harder for you. But this becomes even more important once you start dieting. Because everything changes when you're in a calorie deficit. When your body has less energy coming in than it needs, it doesn't just burn fat. It also increases the natural breakdown of muscle tissue to help meet its energy demands. This is where many weight loss plans quietly go wrong. People often blame the calorie deficit itself for losing muscle. But in many cases, the bigger problem is that they simply aren't eating enough protein, or they're eating it in a way that doesn't give their muscles regular opportunities to repair and rebuild. Think of protein as a steady supply line. Instead of delivering all your building materials at once, you're providing your muscles with a consistent flow of amino acids throughout the day. That steady supply helps offset the normal muscle breakdown that occurs during a calorie deficit and makes it easier to preserve the lean mass you've worked so hard to build. And that's important for more than just looking muscular. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more lean mass you preserve while losing weight, the easier it is to maintain your resting metabolic rate. In other words, you're helping your body continue burning calories efficiently as body fat comes down. But the benefits don't stop there. Protein doesn't just affect your muscles, it also changes how hungry you feel. Every protein-rich meal encourages your digestive system to release hormones that promote fullness, including GLP-1 and PYY, while reducing ghrelin, the hormone most closely associated with hunger. The result? You're more likely to feel satisfied between meals, making it easier to stick with your calorie deficit without constantly battling cravings. Protein offers one more advantage that's often overlooked. Your body actually has to spend energy digesting it. This is known as the thermic effect of food, and protein has a significantly higher thermic effect than carbohydrates or fats. While it's certainly not a magic fat-burning trick, digesting protein requires more work from your metabolism, meaning a small portion of those calories is naturally used during digestion itself. When you combine all of these effects together, preserving muscle, supporting fullness, and requiring more energy to digest, it's easy to see why protein plays such an important role during weight loss. But here's where some people take things too far. Does all of this mean you should obsess over eating protein every 2 or 3 hours? Not at all. Trying to follow rigid timing rules often creates unnecessary stress, and stress rarely leads to long-term consistency. For some people, forcing massive protein meals, especially well over 60 grams at once, can also lead to digestive discomfort. Others become so focused on drinking protein shakes at precise times that they gradually replace whole, nutrient-dense foods that provide fiber, vitamins, minerals, and countless other beneficial compounds. In the end, chasing perfect timing can distract you from what actually matters most. So after everything we've covered, what's the scientific verdict? The evidence points to a very clear order of priorities. First, focus on your total daily protein intake. Current research suggests that aiming for approximately 1.6 to 4 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day provides an excellent target for most people trying to lose fat while preserving muscle. Second, if possible, spread that protein across 3 to 4 meals throughout the day, separated by roughly 3 to 5 hours. Only after those two priorities are in place does precise meal timing become a relatively small optimization. This strategy is especially valuable for people performing resistance training, adults over the age of 50 who naturally lose muscle with age, and anyone dieting in a calorie deficit. However, if you have pre-existing kidney disease or another medical condition that affects protein intake, you should always speak with your physician before making major dietary changes. And if you're just getting started, don't worry about perfect timing. Don't stress about the clock. Simply focus on consistently reaching your daily protein goal first. Everything else comes after that. At the end of the day, total daily protein builds the house. Smart timing simply helps decorate it. But there's one protein myth we haven't answered yet. Is protein powder actually better than getting your protein from foods like chicken, eggs, Greek yogurt, or fish when your goal is fat loss? Sometimes, getting better results isn't about eating more protein, it's about understanding protein better.